I actually was running this, and I've noticed something that was like a little bit off. So as you can see, I'm gonna do this here, and look at the size of the snake that increases when I actually like collide it or eat an apple. See how it's like it looks like it is getting bigger, of course, right? But it's not really getting like one snake size bigger, right? It looks like it's just getting like half a size bigger. So it's kind of hard to see. Um, Maybe if I'm gonna do it one more time, okay? It's in a bad spot. All right, let's see. Bam. See, it's like barely even double the size. And I mean, this is like not really a problem. I guess this video is just to make a small correction, just so that if you want to see a really nice one, then we can do that. So the first thing is, let me just move this stuff here. All right. So the way that I'm gonna try to explain this is like this. If we have three separate uh, you know, coordinates of where the snake is. Let's say it's at 300 and 400, and this is the same thing that we've kind of been using already, right? 400 and then 320, 400, right? Okay, so here, when this displays 300 comma 400, this right here is where it starts to display that. Okay. Now, when you eat an apple and we gain another piece that we want to display, okay, uh, the thing that I realized was that if we're starting here, which is at 300, okay, the next place that it's technically supposed to display is going to start at 310, but the length of my snake is 20. So I should really be starting at 320, but we're not. We're starting right here in the middle at 310. So what happens is it kind of looks like we're overlapping, and that the snake as a whole only grew by like a little bit, right? But if we were to then add another length, okay, so I'm gonna take this length. Here's the 10 right here. So from here to here is 10, right? So I'm gonna just do that really quickly. If from this end to this end is 20, okay, and this end to this end is 20, if I take it and I start in the middle, I'm already erasing half of the square right here, right? So that means that this distance from here to here is really only 10 that I'm showing onto the screen. Even though it is actually drawing it, I'm actually only really showing 10 pixels. Okay. If I was to then add another snake length, where would that start? Well, that would start at the middle of this rectangle, all right, which is right here. And if I were to do that, okay, it's going to again overlap. It's going to start in the middle. So I already lose 10 pixels, but bam, you see how now it kind of looks like two whole squares are like now being attached. But that's what we really wanted to show in the beginning, is that when I eat an apple, I get a whole extra body part being attached or appended to the back. But it seems that we're going to have to add on two of them so that we can start at the end. So essentially, if we have this piece here, which is at 300, the next spot should be at 320. Now that would happen at, if we wanted to draw another body here, right, that would mean that I would need two extra snake lengths. Now I'm going to try to show that using a program. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to where we draw the snake, and I'm going to just add some new lines of code. Now I'm going to erase this back and I'll put back the original, but this video is just to show you like what's actually happening. If this is like not interesting to you at all, and you don't really care, then you can absolutely just move on to the next video. But I think it's good to understand how things are happening and why. So the first thing we'll do, I'm going to create a variable called snake body, and I'm going to just make a surface. Okay, and this surface will just be 20 by 20. I'm just making a 20 by 20. If we were to make this like a real body part that attached to a real snake, then we would have to use different things, but we'll keep it consistent. Then I'm gonna do, we're gonna fill that body part. And we'll fill it with, let's do black. And for the snake rectangle, okay, because remember we have the image, which is around 20 by 20. We want to get the rectangle around it. If it was in a class, I would just use self.rect equals self.image.getRect, but since it's not in a class, we need to just get that here. Now, where would this ideally be? This would be similar to the same thing as this right here, right? I 0. So this gives us the x coordinate. Oh, I should really do it this way because it's like a reflection. This is the x coordinate and then the y coordinate, right? So I of 1. All right, and then if I were to screen dot blit this, okay, we have what do you want to blit? I want to blit the snake body, and where you with the coordinates would be snake. I should really I have to go back and change this. Snake body rect. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and just run this just to make sure that it actually displays properly, and it seems like everything's going good. All right, so now watch what happens if I eat a snake. See how it's like, see it's like a very small amount that's actually happening there? All right, hold on, let me see if I get, oh well, you know, it is what it is. I'm gonna do that again, okay? So I'm going to eat an apple. Now it's supposed to draw a whole body part, but look what happens. It's just a baby, like it's exactly like half, right? And then after that, you wouldn't really be able to notice it because it's just the same color being overlapped, but essentially you're just having half, half, half. Now, the way that I figured out how to fix this for now is that instead of adding one, instead of increasing the snake length by 1, I'll increase it by 2. That way, it'll draw 2 images to the screen, so a 10 and a 10 pixel, creating that illusion that it's like a whole body part being added. So by just adding a 2, okay, this seems to fix the problem, right? It's just temporary for now. And let's see what happens here. So now if I do that, okay, you see how it's a whole body part that's being added, right? It changes the whole idea and the whole look of it. So now when I'm eating it, I was like, I'm really actually growing at the correct rate that I should be growing at. And so that's really all I wanted to show you for that. Okay, again, if this is not something that you really care about, of course, you don't have to go back and make any changes. If it is something that you do care about and that you want to change, okay, then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to leave the +2 here. Okay, I'm going to scroll back up, and I only wrote this piece of code because I wanted to be able to change the color of a specific rectangle so that you could see that it was only half being added on. If I kept it as green, you wouldn't really notice. So I'm gonna go ahead and just erase all that out. Okay, and I'm just gonna keep this, and this should actually still work. All right, so just to test it out, okay, now it is adding a whole body part. You see how that when I ran the program, it didn't just add like a little speck, it looked like it added the entire piece. And so that's what we wanted because that's more realistic, right? So adding a whole piece, right? It's not a small little baby spot there. And that's all that we're gonna just cover for that. Okay, I hope that was interesting. Of course, please like it because it tells me if I should continue doing videos like this. If you're able to leave a comment, you know, please let me know if you don't understand anything. I'm always happy here and ready and willing to help.